I have no idea. Interesting. Hey, Mike, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, okay, good. Okay, well that's a start. I'm having audio issues that I still need to troubleshoot, but it's a brand new camera. Brand new camera. Brand new house. Trying to figure things out. Frustrating some people trying to figure things out. How are you doing, sir? Thank you. We'll see how this goes. I don't imagine there's going to be very many people who jump on just because this was unannounced last minute and I'm literally just testing the equipment. Let's see. Since you're the only one here, we'll just have a nice chit chat. So basically, new house, been in it for about 2 months. Have I lost weight? Really? Yes, I've dropped about a total of about 155 pounds. 145 pounds. But I don't know when the last time you saw me was, so. But yes, quite a bit. Don't judge my coffee. And the interesting thing is in this new setup, I cannot tell how many people are here. I cannot tell just about anything. Hold, please. Oh, of course. This thing's being stupid. Is there a way to tell? All right. Yep. It has been about 2 years, just about 2 years. How does that impact my sac rate? Well, first off, being a female, it will tell you at the top right. Oh, glad to know you're. So how does it impact my sac rate? As a female, I think most of us have a pretty low sac rate to begin with. But I have not honestly done any kind of measuring since I've lost this much weight. But I will tell you, it does take me quite a bit to go through any amount of gas. It does quite a bit. And of course, now I have a cat underneath me. The last time I took a look at my sac rate was probably about a year ago, and I was probably somewhere around a 0.3, 0.4. I mean, it was ridiculously low. Yeah. So I can't imagine that I would have that much drastic change now, you know. But does the camera quality look better than the last time you saw me also? It should be. I use a ridiculously less amount of weight. So when I started in open water, I was just about 300 pounds. So I took somewhere between 20 and 22 pounds in salt water to get down. Now that I dive primarily springs and I don't have to worry too much about a lot of weight, my rebreather and all of its glory, with me in I could be in a 7 mil and I don't need weight because I weigh about a brick and too much. I mean, I'm literally taking my wing almost to capacity just to stay off the bottom. So now I don't need weight at all. Although I'm about to get a dry suit, so hopefully that will help quite a bit. In a 3 mil with steel 100s, I would steel 100s. That's all you needed to say. But yeah, I now I don't need, after losing this much weight, I don't need any weight with the rebreather. It weighs more. It weighs almost as much as I do. You add the tanks. I'm hoping that. I'm getting ready to take a dry suit class, so that will hopefully help me stay off the bottom once I get my dry suit. Now there's a whole 2 of us in here. A whole 3. But the camera quality looks good. You can hear me, which is important. So these things are at least testing out positive. Although now that the camera quality is better, you can see my wrinkles. I have an Aqualung Blizzard Pro dry suit and it takes like 25 pounds to get down. Okay. I just recently ordered a 4th element. I was trying really hard to wait for the next version of the Aquanaut to come out, but they're having production issues and that won't happen for a while, so I just pulled the trigger on the current version. I am still in the Atlanta area, yes. I did move, but I moved locally. Nope, I 4th element, spent all the money. There is a little bit of an echo in here, but I don't have any kind of soundproofing in this room. So I would need some suggestions, and unless I'm going to paint the walls, I could grab some of those, the sound cubes that you can mount to walls. I could probably put some of those up to try to dampen some of the noise. But I have windows literally right here, which may not help my cause. Does that make sense? You have to remember the conditions in which you're recording are not the same as mine. You have a really sound-rich environment. This is lots of room to echo. Well, that's awesome, Mike. I don't recall seeing your name registered for the meetup. Are you coming? I haven't made it. I've only made it about halfway through the registrants who have currently registered, but it's not the echo. It's two mics like your computer. Oh, I totally see what you're saying. The computer does have a mic, but we would have to mess around with that. I don't know how to. That's something I'll have to look into. Did you see my visitor? I mean, the camera looks so good that you could actually pick up her face. That was pretty cool. There she is, right there. Not at this time. Does that mean you're not coming at all, like ever? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes life a little difficult to try to get away. 7 cats? Okay, I don't feel like crazy cat lady anymore. My son has told me that when he moves out, he's taking the cats with him, which will probably be much better for me. I'm allergic to all 3 of them. I get shots once a week. Well, we will hold a spot for you, Mike, when circumstances change. It just dawned on me. Could it be any of the reverb or effects on the mic? Gain too high, maybe? Does that help? I turned the gain down. Did that do anything for the echo or no? Indiana is such an interesting beast. I have done many drives through Indiana, and what I have learned is that half of Indiana is wind farms and looks very alien. A little bit better. You're probably right, but I was at least able to dampen that down some. Just checking some of the other settings just to make sure. Test. Move it. There we go. Northern Indiana was flattened by glaciers. Fair enough. Just going through all the settings, Mike, since I'm just now getting in this space and getting everything set up, so you have no idea what's coming. There's so much coming, but this was a nice little test to make sure that things were working. I can live stream, and the new camera looks really good, and yeah, just getting those things set up. Totally. Yeah. Indiana, definitely alien territory. But fantastic. Hold, please. Something is up with the big mic then. I think you might be right. It could be... I think it's a couple of things. I think it's the equalizer. So I need to go back and double check all of the settings and get rid of like some of the higher and mid-tones. I think that will help reduce some of the echo. But this room, literally, I haven't hung a single thing in this room. Nothing at all. So there's nothing to absorb sound on the walls yet. I don't know how the windows are going to impact anything, but all of that lighting that you see is all from the windows right now. So I think that isn't the worst thing in the world, but see, even, I don't know, still going to have to mess with the camera. But I'll get a couple of panels. I'll get a couple of panels that I can put on the wall to kind of dampen some of the sound. That'll help. The flags are going to go up behind me. That should help. There's a bunch of things that I still need to hang. That should help some too, but I think it's primarily the fact that the walls in this room are completely naked. The door is open. You know, I have a bathroom in this room. There's a closet in this room. So, yeah, exactly. So, actually, Mike, the flag that I had hanging was the Scuba Girls of Georgia flag, not the Scuba Girls International flag. I have to have one of those made, but I'm redoing the logo. So once I have the logo redone, then I'll worry about getting a new flag. But the rainbow banner, no, there's carpet up here. But literally, if I showed you around, you're going to see wall, window, 2 windows, walls. Literally, there's nothing on the walls to absorb any kind of sound. But the rainbow flag that you saw was actually a Dive Talk flag that I bought on their merch site. So I had a Scuba Girls of Georgia flag hanging that I had done, and the Dive Talk rainbow flag. So, but now we have another person who's joined. The third person who has joined. Do you want to say hello, or at least, drop a chat, let us know that you're here and hanging out with us? I'm testing out the new gear. Things are going well so far. I have to get used to this new camera. Well, it's a new to me camera. It's a beast. You can hear the ice in my coffee. That's pretty stellar. Maybe it's my mom. If it's my mom, she's not gonna respond. Just checking out a couple of things. So, Mike, since you're here, I'll give you a little bit of insight on what's coming, because it's exciting. I am getting ready to take a trip. Tell us all about your upcoming Caribbean dive trip. I'm not going to the Caribbean. Write it down. It may never happen again. I'm not going to the Caribbean. I have decided that after the life-changing events that have happened in the last 6 months, I think it might be my mom, because she never chats when it's her. I have decided that after the life-changing events that I've had in the last 6 months, I am going to take a solo trip. There will be diving. It's going to be really freaking cold. I hate being cold. I hate being cold. But I'm going to go do Silfra. So 8 days in Iceland, 1 day in freezing ass cold water. And I am excited and terrified and excited and oh, I am though. So this is the ridiculous piece. Here. Are you sitting down? Because if you're not, you should be. So the first part of November, I'm going to Iceland. When I get back from Iceland, I have 2 days to turn around, regroup, pack, and head out to Dima. I'll be in Dima until Sunday. And then I come home Sunday and I have to leave Monday to go dive with Brian. So I will be gone almost the entire month of November. Thank God my son moved back home, because if not, the poor cats would be starving and dead when I returned. Right? Exactly. But November is going to be a complete whirlwind. And at DEMA, I have intentions to introduce you to a few people. One of them being Sheena. And Sheena is going to make some appearances here and there on this channel. Apparently, when she and I get together, there's a bit of shenanigans. And it's funny and entertaining. It's not Gus and Woody fun and entertaining by any stretch of the imagination, but it might be just enough to keep people interested. So we shall see. What are you doing with your spare time? Well, I haven't gone back to work yet. It's been 6 months and I've not returned to work yet. I am probably going to be back to work December 4th, knock on wood, plywood, whatever my desk is made out of. And I will, there won't be a whole lot of spare time, but November, there won't be any spare time. I mean, I think I have like 2 days, maybe. And I'm going to have to literally pack my rebreather and prep my rebreather before I leave for Iceland, because I won't have time to do it when I get back. I should text my mom to see if it's her. I did publish it, but I've been utilizing my Venmo. I'm still taking donations. I actually have a P.O. box now where I can take gear donations. I do believe that if I end up with enough gear donations, I may try to start something out with that. I don't know. I think there are plenty of people who want to get involved in scuba that can't necessarily afford it. So, people who want to donate gear to those who want to start their dive education, I'm all for that. But if you have Venmo, Mike, and you want to donate to Roxanne's cause, I am covering anything. Me personally, Scuba Girls International, which is my bank account, my personal bank account, anything that's not covered for her education will come from me. So if you want to donate, I would absolutely love it. If you have Venmo donations can be sent to at Scuba Girls International. That's even better. So if you have gear that needs a home, or you're just looking to donate, adaptive diver programs are definitely also a way to go. Giving instead of selling. That's definitely one of the things that I'm passionate about. I've done a lot of that, especially in the last 6 months. Like 90% of my house went to donation. That's fantastic. Looks like we have a couple more people who have joined to hang out with us. If you want to join in on the conversation, that's lovely. I would love to hear from you. Don't be afraid to say hello. Testing out new equipment, new camera, new office. I'm a veteran, so I love that program. That's awesome. I am friends with some veterans who are divers that, that's part of how they keep their sanity is diving. And I think that that's one of the best ways for people to get in touch with their peace and their zen, especially when life has its ups and downs, especially for vets. But if you're just joining, there's a couple more new faces who have jumped on. Testing out new equipment, catching up. It's been a minute. Just to let you guys know, you can still, Cassie always seems to find her way around when I'm live streaming. She's still hanging out right there. New house, new office, new camera, same microphone. I'm still trying to set up the office, I have one entire room that is still full of boxes that I need to go through. Anybody else hate moving? I hate moving. I hate moving with a passion. And I still have probably 10, 15 boxes in one room, which would be a formal dining room if there was one in this house. I don't think I'm going to utilize it that way. I don't know what I'm going to do with that room yet, but it's not going to be a formal dining room. Right now it has boxes upon boxes that I still need to unpack. And I have tons of kitchen gear, like baking and random kitchen things that I'm probably just going to donate to charity for good cause because I don't need it and I don't have the space anymore. A little known fact, people can use the GI Bill to pay for diving certifications to become instructors. That's fantastic. Can you also, because I know that the GI Bill pays for a bunch of different things for vets. Vets tend to buy houses with their benefits, but knowing that, do you get to dip into it for multiple things? Not being a vet, forgive my ignorance. I'm sure Mike is typing. Yes, the GI Bill is for education. That's awesome. Yeah, again, not being a vet, my brother was in the military, but, not being a vet myself, I don't know all the ins and outs of the GI Bill and what those benefits entail for them. Education is awesome. I know that they get a whole bunch of benefits just for have been being in the military. I can't speak. VA loans are a completely different benefit package, but it's still a part of the benefit package that veterans have access to. That was my oldest asking me if he wanted me to pick anything up. Oh, one of the other things that I'm going to start probably sprinkling in all this dive stuff is motorcycle content. I might be dropping in some stuff about my riding the motorcycle every once in a while. Chick-fil-A. I don't want Chick-fil-A. Their grilled nuggets are pretty good, but, I just spent $600 at Costco this weekend. I don't need to be, we need to be having dinner here at home. And now the motorcycle girls group is sweet. What do I ride? I ride a 2021 white and tan Indian Scout Bobber that is the most badass bike that no one is ever going to take from me ever. Like, ever. I bought it February 3rd, I think. February 5th, something like that. I'd have to go back and look at the calendar. And since February, I've put 6,000 miles on it myself. I bought it with 3,200 miles, I think. I would have to go back and look at the bill of sale, but I bought it with just over 3,000 miles, and it now has almost 9,000 miles on it. Because I ride all the time, everywhere, even when people don't want me riding. You have a 2009 Harley Fat Bob. Was it supposed to be Harley Fat Boy? And your wife has a Victory Kingpin. Nice. I have everybody in my female riders group and my drummer all trying to get me on a Harley. Not happening. I appreciate the Harley. I enjoy looking at Harleys, but every Harley that I've sat on, it's just too hot. The hot spots on the inside of the legs are just too much. And Indian Fat Bob, I'm going to have to go look that one up. The Indian is water cooled, so it doesn't have nearly the number of hot spots, in my opinion, in my experience sitting on them, that Harleys do. So Harley is just not for me. I think they're a great bike, just not for me. So you at least, the newer Harleys are water cooled. They are. Could be a thing. It's going to take a lot for someone to pry me away from this particular Indian. I happen to love this bike. I did not think in the time that I've been riding that it would become an extension of my body. Like, everybody talked about it. Everybody talked about how that happens. And when you're riding, how you just feel like you get to this place where you're moving with the bike and you're riding the bike and it becomes an extension of you. It so does. Like, I absolutely love riding my Indian, and it is just, it's smooth, it's loud, the transition between gears, moving between, it's just an amazing bike. I love this thing. So I'm going to be sprinkling in some bike content. I got a camera just for that, so that should be fun. Looks like we've had a couple of other people join. And since I don't know who you are, if you want to drop a hi, please feel free. If Indian is good enough for Gus. Funny you should say that. So he has an Indian. Woody had an Indian. He keeps saying that he's going to buy another one. The man's way too busy. It will probably be years before we see Woody back on a bike. I think he's too committed to what he's doing with his business with the Big Blue swim schools, and he doesn't have time. It's debatable whether or not Gus has any time to ride, but he has a brand new bike. It's basically a sofa on wheels. Hello. Hi. I am. So just, I can hear, sound goes out. I cannot hear anything coming in. So I may need your assistance on trying to figure out why sound is not coming in this way. But, well, I've exhausted my troubleshooting. We may need to Google something else or try to figure it out, or, Yeah, I've looked at making sure that there's nothing else ancillary plugged in. I've looked at whether or not it's the cam link or I don't know. We'll just have to keep looking. Yeah.
Enjoy your live stream.
Okay, dokie. You good?
Yeah.
Did you ride?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go out and expire tabs unless I'm going to go get it done.
Fair enough.
So,
Okay.
yeah. I'll finish your live stream.
Okay. Ote, I love you. I love you. Bye. Sorry, that was my oldest. The interesting thing is it would be nice to get Woody back on a bike. I don't know that that's going to happen. My oldest has an Indian also. I might be that cool mom. I had an opportunity to help him get into a new bike, and he now has a 2023 Chief Bobber, complete Dark Horse edition. I mean, it's just a sexy bike. Don't tell him I said that. Don't ever tell him I said that. Because my two favorite colors are purple and black. So had I had my way, my bike would be black or purple. But I get so many compliments on my bike, like it being that combo of white and khaki brown. It's a really gorgeous bike. People like it. Am I the only diver in my family? No. My oldest dives. My youngest wants nothing to do with it. Not too long ago, a couple of years ago, my youngest did a tri scuba, and that was a pretty interesting night. But yeah, my youngest wants nothing to do with it. They did promise me that they would try again. So this summer, I'm going to get them back in the pool, and we're going to get them in gear and give it another go. But as of right now, my youngest wants nothing to do with it. Just for a little public service announcement for the additional folks who are popping in and out, if you are not registered for the Dive Talk meetup, it's not too far away. I recognize it's almost like a year away, but that's going to go fast and it's going to sell out fast. So if you have any interest in going to the Dive Talk meetup, you need to run, not walk, to go register at divetalkmeetup.com. Don't walk, run. That's my bike. Which one? The one that my oldest has? The Indians? What are you talking about? I don't know. Either way, go register for the Dive Talk meetup if you haven't. The trip leaders this year are going to be absolutely phenomenal. They're going to be familiar faces that you've already seen. Benjamin's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Link above that message. Are you you're just talking about you having the fat bob and Indian being good enough for Gus, and talking about my kids also diving, but my youngest not having any desire. I'll give it a try again over the summer. But trip leaders who are going to be at the Dive Talk meetup in July of 24. Myself, Benjamin's going to be there. Bill Mitchell's going to be there. Sounds like Gus's little brother is going to be one of my trip leaders, which is going to be pretty stinking cool. I had the opportunity to dive with Gus and his little brother last summer, I think it was. I don't know. Shelly was with me. We had gone to Buford, and they were there also. And I don't think he's as funny as his brother, but he's still funny. I think it's a family trait. I don't know. Who else is coming that you guys would know? I know who some of the guest speakers are, but since they've not been announced, I'm not going to say anything about that yet. I don't think they've officially been announced. I think some of them have been talked about, but I will let the Dive Talk guys say that. I think maybe the chat removed the hyperlink I put in the chat. It must have, because I don't see it at all. Yeah, there's absolutely no chat link. So my apologies. But Mike, you're on Facebook. You know how to find me. If you want to send me the link, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, folks, if you can swing it, go to the meetup. Yes, absolutely. Oh, it's going to be another epic year. Bon Air is going to be amazing. The speakers are going to be amazing. We're going to have a great time. There's going to be boat dives. There's going to be shore diving, straight up shenanigans after all the diving. The prizes, whoo, if you thought they were something this last year, just wait. Wait. And we have a couple people who keep popping in and out, but don't want to talk and say hi. People are making me sad. And of course, the camera wants to try to autofocus or unfocus me. But it was initially focused for way back here, so I guess I should sit back here. Kiss did give away a rebreather. Well, hello, Dive Talk. What? That's kind of cool. I was just going to let you announce. You know, I didn't want to announce anything around the meetup, around speakers or anything like that hasn't been officially announced first. So, but it's nice to have the backing and support of Dive Talk. Those guys have done a lot to support me over the years. And for those who don't know, since there's about 6 of us hanging out in here this evening, Gus and Woody and myself go way back. Probably as far back as 2018. You feel less like a stalker. Yeah, that's all right, Mike. I know that your stalkiness is definitely well meant. Too funny. I'm still going to push the meetup. If you have not registered, go run, divetalkmeetup.com. There will be diving involved. That's amazing. I'm so glad that you're officially announcing that there will be diving involved. And talking. Lots of talking. And prizes. And you can buy tickets and better your chances, just like Rishi did this last year, and like Patrick Hum did this last year. I think those two had purchased the most tickets out of anybody else at the meetup, and those two walked away with the most prizes, which was pretty epic. Smartassery is your spiritual gift. That's awesome. And you spelled it, correctly, so the AI bots didn't swipe you. That's awesome. I'm so glad that we now know officially that there will be diving and there will be talking, which is cool. But there will be some pretty epic people. There are so out of the 70 some plus people who have already registered. I don't know what the official number is today, but the last time I checked, there was more than 70 people registered. Out of all of the people who are currently registered, we have lots of repeat awesome divers. You know what, Mike? I am going to hold space for you and your wife that at some point you guys will join us, and that will be amazing. And we will have the biggest party the year that you guys make it the first time. I promise. I will be the first person to come find you and give you guys the biggest hug and welcome you officially to your first Dive Talk meetup. But there's lots of repeat, I'm going to call you repeat offenders. There's lots of repeat offenders coming, myself included. It's really cool to see names coming back, like Heather and Lisa are coming back. Sean and Melissa are coming back, and we've actually asked Sean and Melissa to be Militia to be trip leaders this year. So it's going to be epic. If you have not considered, if you've not been to Bonaire, this is going to be the year to go. Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. I think we're going to have a blast. I mean, I may not sleep for a week, but, it'll be what it'll be. As long as everybody has a great time and enjoys diving and everyone is happy, I'll sleep when it's over. So, some additional things that are coming down the way. Now that I'm in the new house, I am going to try to get all of my Indonesia footage together and try. Me and this editing thing, I'm terrified of it. I do not do well with it. So I'm going to attempt to edit all of my Indonesia footage and toss it out there for you guys to see, because there was so much. I caught so much footage, especially underwater, that you guys are not going to want to miss. I just need to get off my laurels and put that into something that is digestible. You ever collab with Sarah and Azul Unlimited? I have not. And shame on me for not knowing who they are. If you educate me, Dive Talk, do you know who Sarah and Azul Unlimited are by any chance? I will look them up. Jonathan Bird offered to do a collaboration with me this month, which for him means it comes out anywhere from 6 to 9 months later. But timing just did not work out. Hey, Jeremy, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Craig, hey. What do you think of the Shearwater Petrol 3? Dive Talk did a video on what they think of Shearwater products. I personally have not used the Petrol 3, but I do have a Petrol. I have the Petrol 2. I think Shearwater products are head and shoulders above just about anything else. They're durable. They're, just reliable products. The service that you get when you need to have something serviced, it's kind of unprecedented, the way that things get out and come back really quickly. She lives out of her van with her dog Abby and dives all over North America. No, but now I need to know who she is. So now I'm going to go look her up and figure out why I've not met this person, because they sound cool. Oh, hi, David B. Glad you guys could jump in. Jeremy, Craig, David, if you guys have not registered for the Dive Talk meetup, y'all need to go do it. We would love to have you join us for a week in Bonaire next year. Sounds like she puts out some pretty awesome content if you guys are members of their Patreon. So I'm definitely going to have to go check this out. I think it takes a special person to be able to dive into their van and just live out of their vehicle and dive all over the U.S. That's kind of cool. That's okay. We will hold space for you, and hopefully you'll join us not in 24, but maybe in 25. because we're not going to stop anytime soon. So not only am I going to start doing more content, we're going to relaunch the channel entirely right as I knock over my coffee. And we're going to sprinkle in some additional fun stuff, not just dive stuff, because I don't necessarily want to do. Yeah, I remember, David. You've got dive goals. But you can be forgiven since you are now going to be a part of the KISS CCR team. So if you need to skip the meetup this year, that's all right. Of course, I have my tax documents right here, and of course I spilled my coffee all over them. Yay! It is what it is. You know, I would not put it past the guys to move eventually to the European side of the waters to figure out a meetup. I know that there has been talk about other international locations, but we'll see. Did the SW2 came out yet? I'm not sure what you mean. You may have to jog my memory. It's been a long day. Oh, but I got a camera for my bike. I ended up buying a Insta360 so I can do some footage on my bike, and hopefully that will be just as entertaining. Oh, the Sidewinder 2. No, you guys have a while before the Sidewinder 2 comes out. They are before it, at least until it's available to the masses. I think that they are still working on it being rated, working out any other additional kinks. And we know that Patrick has put out all sorts of coverage and footage from shows that they've presented it at, but I think they're still dealing with some testing and some making sure that it's certified before it's released to the masses. It's coming. It's just not available to everybody yet, I don't believe. Dive Talk, if you have some other inside knowledge that I don't, feel free to share. You know, when dive gear and equipment go through testing, it's not a simple process. So those things can take years. But I believe they're closer than they have been in previous years. So that, and I know that the production facility in Poland is in the process of being built, and that, I mean, they're moving fast. So you'll know it when we know it. Stop it. Really? Okay, just let's play through that for a second, right? They release an all brown CCR. Call it the Hershey's Kiss, call it whatever you want. What happens when you hit a silt out? Not only does everything disappear, but you blend in with your surroundings. So let's find our dive buddy. I mean, you know, let's hope that their dry suit's not brown. Let's hope that their wet suit's not brown, because you're just not going to find him. Well, you're not finding anything in complete blackout conditions anyway, but that's why we never let go of the line. I mean, for real, let's just play through that one. Let's be real. Let's be real. All right, guys, I've almost been at this for an hour. So who's got questions? Have you got questions? Camouflage. Remember, retired Army here. Yes, Mike, you get excuses. You get a pass. How is your cave training coming along? So I am one dive away. Good April Fool's joke. I am one dive away from being full cave certified. I did the majority of my cave training with Doug Ebersol. I am likely, our calendars are likely not going to mesh up for me to finish that last dive. I finished all the requirements as far as skills go. I just needed a third location. You're supposed to dive 3 separate cave systems in order to complete the requirements for standards. And I had 2 cave systems and completed all the skills that were required. But in the time frame that it's going to require me to finish with Doug, I'm going to see Brian K. Cook first. So I'm probably going to end up finishing my full cave with Brian K. Cook. I know. I have to tell you. So I probably should. I wish I would have gotten footage of the day that we were in Jenny and I went to the bat room. I was so freaking excited. I know that you guys have heard the guys on Dive talk about the bat room in Jenny Springs, and I'm sure you've seen other videos or what have you. But I made it to the bats and I about lost my shit. I was so excited. And by the time that we finished that dive and I got out, I was jumping around like a complete fool and like literally like a kid at Christmas. And I'm pretty sure I did a dance with just imagine, I'm fully kitted. I'm fully kitted head to toe. My rebreather is still on. I'm pretty sure I took my mask off. I had snot coming out my face. I was so excited. I probably would have hugged Doug if I could have, but I had both my tanks on, my rebreather still on, snot dripping out my face. And I'm literally, look, I am not too proud. I mean, literally, I was dancing like an idiot. I was so happy. And the winter conference, the spring conference, the NSSCD, I don't know, the last NSSCDF conference, the t-shirts had the bats on it for the bat room. And I'm like, now I have been there. I know what they look like. I have seen them with my own 2 eyes. So now I can't wait to get back. And you know, we were talking about trim and buoyancy and how much weight did you need, because I've lost a lot of weight. You start adding extra gear that you need for doing jumps and all of the things that you're required to have when you're cave diving. Here's what I've learned. I can have a primary, I can have a secondary, and a 2 jump spools. I'm good. My trim's good. My buoyancy's good. You add that 3rd one, I get a little iffy. You add a 4th, I'm back to being a brick. And I'm literally adding so much air to my wing just to stay off the ground that it's ridiculous. Like I'm now like, where can I tuck it? Can I move it somewhere else? Do I need pockets? Just so much. I sink like a brick. Literally sink like a brick. But I cannot tell you how exciting being in a cave is. You hear the guys talk about it all the time, and they're like, "Oh man, I wish I was in a cave right now." And of course, look, now that the sun is starting to set, the lighting is getting bad in here. The dry suit will help with that. I cannot wait. My dry suit will probably not be here in time for my diving with Brian K. Cook, but it'll be here, I think, in sometime in December. So I will be able to get in the dry suit, manage my trim and buoyancy a little bit better, and stay off the frickin' bottom. I did the 4th element Argonaut. So it is the current version. I think it's a 2. I was Fourth Element announced the Argonaut 3, I believe, at DEMA last year. And they were supposed to release it this year, but there were too many issues with production. And I'm like, I'm not going to wait. And of course, now they're talking about the beginning of 24. And I pulled the trigger on the Argonaut 2. So now I'm just like, whatever. It's just going to have to be what it'll be. But I absolutely love Fourth Element products. I think that they're an outstanding line. I'm excited to get my dry suit and go beat the snot out of it. And I'm going to go dive Silphra. Yes, I completely agree. So my dry suit class is with, I'm actually taking it with Dive Georgia here in 2 weeks. And before I go to Iceland to dive Silphra. And I am doing that completely open circuit. So it will be open circuit, figure it out, go dive Silphra, and then I get to go play. But the benefit is, if the quarries are open here locally and will let me in because I have a dry suit, then I just may go fall into any puddle that'll allow me. And I have access to every single solitary springs. I have Patrick Waters, one of the other guys who's going to be a trip leader for us for the Dive Talk meetup. He's one of my dive buddies. He was also one of the original, we call them the OG meetup crew from the original Dive Talk meetup 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, gosh, it seems like 2 meetups ago. It was the first meetup. And he and I he's like, just hit me up when you want to dive, because he's almost full cave also. So we can go do cave dives without doing navigational decisions until we're certified, full cave, of course. But there's plenty of locations that will give you enough penetration to be able to go in, get a good penetration without making any navigational decisions and coming back out. I hear it takes a minute to get used to. So it'll be practice. What can I say? What other questions do you guys have for me? Definitely going to have to address the lighting issue in here if I'm doing any kind of work in the evening, because now that the sun's going down, I don't have natural lighting and I have one crappy lighting. Sam! Hi, Sam. Sam's coming to the meetup. The lighting is currently fine, but if you see, I'm starting to get shadows everywhere, shadows behind me, If I were doing a video, I would not want this much shadow activity happening around me. But since it's informal and it's just us hanging out, it's no big deal. What other questions do you guys have for me? Hang on one second. It's triggering the autofocus. I had gotten out of focus. Thank you. Thank you very much. Why did you go with MCCR as opposed to automated CCR? So, my phone is acting up. I can barely hear you, but I heard, so I had muted just for a second so I could get my son to re-autofocus the camera. So I don't think your phone is acting up. why did I go with MCCR, mechanical CCR versus an electronic CCR? I went with the KISS mechanical CCR versus any of the PICA and ECCR for a number of reasons. Primarily, the people that I will be diving with all are on the KISS CCR models, right? So not only will they be able to support me, I'll be able to support them because I know I know how their machines function. For me, it's not necessarily about less opportunities for failure points, but being able to manually adjust my PPO2. I think I like the control factor of that more than adding set points and calling it good. So I personally, not only am I supported by everyone who I dive with is diving the same type of device, having the controls myself versus there being a potential failure like a solenoid failing open or there being an electronic issue or a set point issue or a computer malfunction or failure. I think all of the control factors being in my hand versus being in, the mechanics of the electronic versions was what was very attractive to me. Additionally, I have ADHD, so hyperfocus allows me to be very happy with the components and pieces and parts of utilizing a mechanical CCR device instead. Does that make any sense? Probably far more information than you wanted, but that's what you got. What other questions you guys have? You're still kind of on the fence personally. I totally understand that. And you know what? That's perfectly acceptable. I think that's perfectly okay. I personally went with what other people around me were diving with, so there was get off the fence. And I had the support, right? So people in my circle have been diving KISS for eons, since their inception, and everyone being knowledgeable was a comforting factor. Being able to learn from those who were most knowledgeable was a comforting factor. And knowing that I was getting solid information and solid instruction was a comforting factor. Knowing that the people who are at the top of their game also dive this device. Think about it. Yes, cave adventurers, those guys are absolutely amazing and know their stuff inside and out. Yes, a lot of them dive other CCR devices, but think about it. Ed Sorensen's on a Sidewinder most of the time. Ed Sorensen. He's on a Sidewinder. That man does everything and anything, and his dive unit of choice is a Sidewinder. Hi, Ed. I know you're never going to see this, but I love you. And Stacy, too. Those people, those two. Get off the fence. I wonder if there's a big difference with ease of breathing. So, if you want to talk about work of breathing and the differences across different types, I am not going to be your best resource because the only unit I've stuck in, the only unit I have experience with is a KISS. And I will tell you that in Cozumel, I was able to jump on Woody's Go for a little bit, which is the teeny tiny chest mount device that I'm sure that you've seen in the videos. It's tiny, it's compact, it's actually geared towards open circuit and recreational divers because it's nice and easy to get up and go. But the work of breathing on that thing was pretty spectacular, super easy. The only thing that I did not enjoy about the Go, is that the breathing, your recirculated air got warm after a while. I don't like breathing warm air, but it got heated up. I mean, just a little bit, which, I mean, for the length of time that device is available to you before you need to change sorb, I still think it's worth it. I think it's worth it, but I can't compare it to the work of breathing on, say, a JJ or a Choptima, because I've never dove any of those. So the goat dives a kiss. Yes, the goat, both goats. So, well, let's think about this. Mike Young dives kiss. Ed Sorensen dives kiss. Brian K. Cook dives kiss. Where are the rest? Christina Zanato dives kiss. Tell me, who else do you need? Who else do you need? Jonathan frickin' Bird dives a kiss. These guys are not getting these devices for free. These guys are diving them because they believe in that product. Well, Mike Young, I mean, he put the thing together himself, so he's different. But the rest of them, they have choices. They have the ability to dive any device they want, and that's what they choose. It's reliable. It is a beast. Patrick, how many more goats do y'all need to get off the fence? I'm just saying, people dive the KISS product for a reason. And it's not because it's popular, because, it's a reliable device. People are not going to put their lives in their hands of a device that does not work. You want to know why I have, my wardrobe, if you want to go look at my closet, is 90% KISS and black t-shirts. Because I'm passionate about a product that I use that I absolutely love because it works. Now, can you still have failure points? Can you still have things that break? If you don't take care of it, it will break. It will have failure points because you didn't take care of it. You didn't do your job. You take care of that device, keep it in good working condition, it will take care of you. And your training, if you do everything that you are told in training, if you put those things, those skills, those tasks to muscle memory, you will survive any kind of failure point because you're trained to. You know what to do. You know what? Dr. Harrison is a completely different animal. Those guys and the diving that they do and have done, the fact that they are using a backup rebreather, they're staging with rebreathers, additional rebreathers. I mean, they're in a completely different class all by themselves. I'm going to take this meg, and then I'm going to take this piece. And then, when I breathe this one out completely, I'm just going to switch over to this. They're in a completely different class all by themselves. Exactly, Mike. But KISS is also simple, right? Keep it simple, stupid, for a reason. It is an amazing, I don't have any other great things to say about it because it's solid. Okay, you know what? Gene Simmons does equal KISS, but it is a completely different version. That is platform boots and face makeup and scary hair and stuff. Who seems humble? Right? Exactly. All right, David, get out. Get out. Just get out with that nonsense. That's hilarious. I think we've reached that point of the evening where we're all a little paunchy. That's funny. I have a wife. I don't need a machine telling me what to do. Hey. I know you're kidding. Whenever your wife is ready to talk about dive gear and get involved in diving, I am here and at her disposal. All she has to do, just send her my way. I know you said she had some questions and some concerns. I'm happy to talk to her anytime. I am drinking a oat milk shaken espresso with sugar-free vanilla. That is my poison of choice these days. At least Starbucks put my name sort of accurately this time. They spelled it wrong, but there was one time not too long ago that I went to Starbucks and they put my name as Terrible instead of Terry, which was funny. I completely understand why she's nervous, and that is completely okay. And if you guys need help in getting her a solid recommendation to do just to try scuba in the pool, I know people out in the Pacific Northwest and in that area, so I can help you find somebody. I'm more than happy to help you guys get her situated. If she's got a desire and an interest just to see if it's going to be something for her, I will help. Quad sugar-free vanilla latte made with whole milk. That would murder me 6 ways from Sunday. Me and regular dairy do not get along. I'll die for ice cream, don't get me wrong. But me and regular dairy are not friends. My new handle is terrible. Well, I'm pretty sure there's some people who say that about me, but it's okay. David, I'm happy to help her find a woman. Hello, founder of Scuba Girls of Georgia and Scuba Girls International. I have no problem helping you find what she needs. Speaking of, I need to get with Roxanne and her mom and take her shopping. It's time to get her set up for class and get her ready. And Dive Talk, I'm going to need to get one of you guys to reintroduce me to Jack so I can figure out what I need to do to make and see that they'll still be okay with us using their pool. You know what? You want to send your wife to Georgia? Send her here. I'll take care of her. She can come spend a couple days with me. No questions asked. You know, I am terribly sweet some days. Whatevs. You know, it's okay. People can call me terrible. I have realized that the more I am in the public eye, the more haters I'm going to have. And I can't do anything but be me. You know what? If people want to hate me because I've lost weight, which is something that has happened here recently. People want to have opinions of me because I don't have a husband anymore. Okay. There is nothing I can do about other people's opinions of me. I'm just going to be me. Take me or leave me. It's okay. I am still going to be the person who will give you my last dollar if you needed it, because that's just who I am. I have fins that I need to ship you for Roxanne. David, I now have the ability for you to do that. My P.O. box, I will send you an IM with the P.O. box so you can send them over for her. You know what? I think Roxanne's mom would kill me if I sent her home with a KISS CCR and an Indian motorcycle. She's 14, y'all. I mean, she towers over me like she's far older than that, but she's 14. I am getting to that point in my life, Mike. There is nothing that I can do when people have incorrect perceptions of me, or they develop opinions of me based on half, no, a quarter, no information. People not spending time with me. If you've not spent time with me and you form an opinion of me, there is nothing I can do. And if you don't want to spend time with me to figure out who I am, there is nothing I can do. If you want to spend time with me, I will spend time with you. That is how I operate. It is what it is. They're Mares Quattro. I will not judge you for that. No, the guy's wife, not the teen. Fair enough. I mean, if David's wife leaves here with a KISS CCR and an Indian motorcycle, more power to her. I support that. I would ride with her from here to their house on her new bike. I'll follow her on my bike. No big deal. We'll ship the CCR. We're not going to ride the bikes with a CCR. That would be ridiculous. Although we know people who have done that. Poor Yarno. Yarno's wife or somebody in his family ended up popping up in my feed the other day, and he was such a character. Miss that man. You should upgrade to the Deep 6 fins, because the Deep 6 Eddies are incredible fins. And the Dive Talk Deep 6 Eddy fins are going to be out very soon. There will be one orange and one pink. So you can represent both Team Gus and Team Woody. Mike, you're not wrong, and if other people are forming those opinions of me because of their own insecurities, again, that's not something I can do anything to change. I will treat them with the love and the respect that I will give them until they shit on my face. And then I will just distance myself. I can't do anything. Life is too short to worry about what other people think. I've learned that lesson in the last 6 months. Can't do a thing about it. Correct. Pink and orange. So you will have one to represent each side of the Die Talk guys, and you will be like, do I have to make a choice? No, because you can have one pink and one orange. Thank you very much. Yukon, Sean, and myself came up with that, and I approached Landon for that. So Mike, I hear what you're saying, but I try to treat people with love and respect first. I guess that's the way my mom brought me up, is meet people where they are, love and respect them where they're at, and try to be good to everybody. I try to be good to everybody. I try to take care of everybody. Sometimes I need to remember to take care of me first, but I try to take care of everybody. I don't need everybody to like me, because I know that that's impossible. But I will always try to be good to people first. I will assume positive intent and assume the best of people first. It's just part of who I am. We've been at this for an hour and a half. What other questions y'all have? Otherwise, I'm going to start singing. You know, being that you have a military background, I can understand why you have a real issue with bullies. And I'm sure that your friends and family and those who are closest to you absolutely appreciate and love that about you, that you're very protective of your friends and family. I think that's very admirable. Admirable. Brain cells don't want to rub together tonight. If you eat a mermaid, are you considered a cannibal? I'm going to go with David. Really? How are you picking? How can you pick? Mike, if you can't tell just by reading the commentary, then we need to work on your vision. All right, David, I have to ask, why are you Team Woody? Other than the octopus hats. And Woody might be alien himself. You know, I don't know that would annoy Gus. You might have to try a little harder to annoy him, really. Would fish from different regions have different accents or dialects? I don't know. I've had many conversations with fishes from all over the world, and they all have the same accent. Silence. I think the only thing that I'm really, really good at is frustrating Gus. I don't annoy him. I think I just frustrate him. Andy, you just popped in and you got to leave already? Andy has provided myself and some others in community with some super awesome cave markers. So we got some arrows and cookies from Andy that were super, super cool. It was lovely to see you, Andy. I hope we talk again soon. He also needs to teach an INTG. What are we going to call it? Fish phonetics? I mean, what are we? You're at work, you bad boy. Oh my God. Don't be screwing around at work. You're going to get in trouble. What are we going to call the INTD language class? Fish phonetics? Bye, Andy. Fish talk. I am not the one who you want teaching an underwater dive knife defense class. Although I will stab a bitch. No, I'm just kidding. You can't take care of anyone else unless you can take care of you first. True facts. You're not going to know right now. Well, actually, if you're a really big fan of dive talk, you know who should be teaching the underwater dive knife defense class. I'll Venmo $5 to the first person who gets it right. Y'all type so slow. Guess nobody caught that. That's okay. David, come on, for real. Which one? Listen, nobody is allowed to take that DPV jousting class before me. I am first in line. Me. Underwater knife fighting, that's not a thing. Look, I don't need to stab somebody to make them bleed. I just need to be faster than they are. No, Mike shouldn't be teaching an underwater knife defense class either. Not Ed. Nope. I did. I actually, I still do have some pretty cool knives. Also had some pretty cool swords. Got rid of all the swords. All the swords are gone. But the knife collection is still in my drawer upstairs. But could you imagine underwater knife defense, how slow and exaggerated those moves are? Nobody's getting stabbed. Oh man, Mike, you had to bring that up. The jet ski explosive destruction. That is never going to come to fruition. You realize this, right? But how cool would that be? What if they got the guys from shoot, what was the name of that show? What was the name of the science brain? What was the name of the science show that the guys absolutely love to blow shit up? I can see it. I can see Adam, and I can see the gal and the other guy, Adam, and oh man, I'm gonna have to Google it. This is gonna kill me because I loved that show. Mythbusters, yes, that was such a great show. Imagine a Dive Talk Mythbusters collaboration where they actually have the ability, since they have the connections to the special effects people, to blow up a jet ski. Jamie and Adam, Sesame Street, get out of here. It was not Sesame Street. That's funny though. Fish talk. That would be a super cool collaboration though, because then they would actually have the resources and probably the space to blow something up. That would be amazing. I can't promise I've seen every episode of Mythbusters, but I'm pretty darn close to all of them. I think one of my favorite things about that was going, no, is that plausible? Mm-mm. You could go to the hardware store and get all the stuff required, but to make something actually explode without getting into mounds of trouble, that's where the key is. Being able to blow something up and not get in trouble. The traffic is backing up outside of my house. Ed should teach it. No, Ed should not teach it. Could Ed? Possibly. Should Ed? I have other ideas on who that should be. What else you guys got for me? We're at an hour and 35 here. So I need to solve my lighting issue. Everything else seems to work well. Sound works well. Need to dampen the echo. What else we got? We could blow it up and get Lake Hickory come help salvage. I mean, if you've got connections. Now, look, I don't want to encourage because I don't know what the guys are up for and what the guys are not up for, but that would still be cool. If you were a donut, which one would you be? With the questions, I did say that though. I would probably be a Boston cream, a blueberry cake. You should do an experiment in your backyard and see how big of an explosion you can create without. Look, there is a major road, a major thoroughfare for this area that runs right behind my backyard. So if I explode anything, if anything, people are going to know. People are going to know. And this place has an HOA that has a mean streak 6 miles long. So there is absolutely no way that I would get away with anything. Zero chance. Zero. All right, so Mike would be a Krispy Kreme glaze, original, probably hot, fresh out the fryer. David, what kind of donut would you be if you were a donut? I have an older gal who is 2 years older than my mom on one side and a family of 4 next door. I ain't getting away with nothing. I'm not getting away with anything. A maple bar, with bacon or without. Do I know what a large group of Karens is called? A red flag, run, disaster? I'm not certain. Fair. Come on, Mike. An HOA. You are not wrong. Oh my goodness. And the gal 2 doors down, I have met 2 neighbors in this neighborhood so far. And the one gal who's 2 doors this way, super nice woman. She's a part of the board for the executive or the HOA executive team, whatever it is. I don't know. Her name's not Karen, but it's close. There's some lag in the chat. There always is, unfortunately. There always is. I'm guessing it's in everyone. Okay. Totally annoying. New Facebook feature where you're able to tag everyone and then the notification comes across and says that you've been tagged. No, you haven't. Everyone was tagged. Dumbest thing ever. You guys have been absolutely fun this evening. You've allowed me to test the gear setup, getting reconfigured, getting reset up in my new space. I have a ton coming down the pipe. If you have ideas of things that you want to see, please feel free to let me know. You guys can drop me an email. Most of you guys know how to find me on Facebook. If there's something you would like to see content-wise, I am not going to be a copy of Dive Talk. This relaunch is not going to be where I copycat myself and make myself the female version of Dive Talk. That's not happening. Anyone ever dive while wearing a glucose monitor? One of my scuba girls, as a matter of fact, I have 2 scuba girls at Georgia who do just that. So I can probably answer some basic questions about that if you have them. At least you have an HOA instead of the Clampets next door. So far I've not run into the Clampets here. What kind of questions do you have about diving while wearing a glucose monitor? I might be able to answer basic questions only because I've dived with both of these women. Okay, so let me tell you about the gals that I've dived with who are both diabetic. Both of them take the monitor itself off. It will likely alarm the entire time, so they attempt to mute it or bury it in gear. As far as monitoring their glucose and their sugars, they eat before diving, knowing how long they're going to be in the water, and then they are eating when they get out. So they are very close to monitor their sugars before they get in, when they get out. They eat beforehand, and they tape up everything with as far as their pumps go. So they do it successfully. We have signals. We have hand signals for both of them. Should they have any kind of issues while they're in the water, that way they can communicate that with their dive buddies. We have an agreement that part of their dive briefing before they get in the water is making sure everybody who they dive with knows that they are diabetic, what their steps are, what their emergency steps are, should there be an issue, and then us checking in with them when they get out of the water. And literally, it's almost like having their own emergency action plan for their entire dive. So we check in with them beforehand, in the water frequently, and then make sure that they're good and solid when they get out of the water. Luckily, we've never had any issues with them diving. Their monitors are just very loud and annoying if they don't have the ability. Like one gal's, hers doesn't have the ability to actually mute, so it goes off the entire time. So she either leaves it in her car after she gets out or before she takes it off, or buries it in gear, and people just have to deal with it beeping. That's pretty smart. These gals are more open circuit divers, so they really don't have to worry about being in the water any longer than an hour and a half. But they would probably do the exact same thing should they dive longer. I know that Shelly has aspirations to dive tech, so that may be something that she and I have a conversation about in the future. I just wrote a recommendation letter for her for a scholarship for tech diving. Because I watch out for my girls. All right, guys, we are closing in on 2 hours, and I can sit here and talk to you guys all night, but I know that y'all have other things to do. I have other things to do. I would like to go make dinner. I would like to eat something. I don't typically eat real food except maybe once a day, so I need to go eat something. It's just crazy how quickly yes, you are correct. And I think that has something to do with your body being completely surrounded by water, how your metabolism can actually rapidly move through whatever it is that you consumed beforehand. And your kidneys get activated. I mean, lots of your stuff gets activated when you're completely submerged in water. But I want to thank you all for being the first people to hang out with me in the new house. I'm very grateful that you jumped on and that you haven't let my channel die completely in vain. The last 6 months have been a little muted for me, and I'm sure you all understand why. But I am getting back on my feet, and thank you very much for hanging out and testing the new gear with me. And I look forward to sharing lots of stuff with you guys coming up here soon. Most importantly, coming up, Sulfra. It should be very exciting. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will chat with you all again very, very, very soon. Mike, if you have interest to donate financially, Venmo at Scuba Girls International. If you wanted to send gear, drop me a line in Facebook and I'll send you the P.O. box. David, I already know you want the P.O. box, so I'll send that to you. Otherwise, you three gentlemen know how to reach me. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.